All right. Let's see here. There we go.
Oops, there we go.
Hey, Joe. How are you? It looks
Hey,
like we're live.
all right, how's it going?
It's going well. It's going really well. Sitting out here in Vegas, and the summer has finally arrived. It looks like it's going to be a little over 100 here over the weekend. So it's
Jeez.
nice. It's really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff. Yeah, had nice weather out in Denver last week, and bouncing on the way home. It was pretty nice too. And now it's a beautiful day here. I
Yeah.
got a lot of stuff to do today, but I want to get on the boat. Hopefully.
Yeah. Of course. Of course. What did you do out in Colorado? You guys had a little bit of a different training class out there, didn't you?
Yeah. So we had a custom program for another company that focuses on protecting politicians, state level, down to mayors to the city level, and they have several clients in the Colorado area. So we did a course for them in Denver, focusing on that. So I mean, it was an EP course basically, but versus normal. The big difference is versus normal EP, where the majority of the time you're operating without any time and place predictability and media exposure and all of that.
Uh-huh.
They predominantly operate in that space, right? So that's how we changed the training form a little bit, but it went really well.
That's really cool, man. That's really cool.
Yeah,
And I think it's pretty cool that there's a EP company out there that actually focuses 100% on that. So let's give a shout out to them. What is it
yeah.
called again?
Queens Guard Protective Services, based out of Boulder, Colorado. So it's called
Yep.
Queens Guard Protective Services. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, look them up if you haven't heard about them before. I wanted to talk to you about another project that we have coming up that's pretty exciting. And it's this thing that we call the Detail Manager Training Course.
Yeah,
What is this about, Joe?
yeah. So biggest thing is there's a lot of training out there for almost everything, but there's almost no training out there for managers in EP. So, there's so much of a learning curve once you get into that manager level and you're running a detail, which, when we say manager, it's anybody, I guess, detail leader to even like an EP program manager. So
Yeah.
everybody that has a part in it, whether it's RST, EP, managing the entire, program for a family, etc. So yeah, I mean, it's just something that's different and something that's you know, sharing off our experiences, and I think it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and it's
Yeah,
actually interesting because I think for years we all kind of agreed in the business that there needed some training that was more than just for the agent level, right? But when you
exactly.
then sit down to create this training class, or at least that's kind of what we discovered, is that there's really two types of management on a protected detail. There's, of course, the person that runs the program, that is the manager of the actual EP program, either in a private family office, in a corporation, for the client, whatever. But then there's also the actual team members who a lot of times end up managing a detail or managing their own detail or managing the trip that they're on, right? And when you then break down a lot of the program management principles and a lot of the detail manager principles, it turns out to be almost the same but different, right? And that's kind of the foundation for what we're doing with this training class. Can you talk a little bit about that, or
Yeah. So I mean, really, what the best thing that we're doing with this is, we're allowing somebody that steps into that manager level to fix the problems that we've seen over and over and over again without having to experience them themselves. Having those growing pains and everything that happens when you're running a detail that tends to sneak up on you. I think that the way we've designed it, it takes into account what you're talking about. That there's nothing really that trains people for that, and then we come in and we've designed this thing to fix those problems before they're problems, really. And I think
yeah,
that that's
exactly.
awesome.
Yeah, and the way that we do it is a little bit different too, right? Because this is primarily, and when I say primarily, we'll probably run one or two as kind of open enrollment. But in general, these are not sold as open enrollment courses, right? They're targeted specifically to working EP teams or people who are in the management of EP teams.
Yeah,
And it's built so we do a little bit of a workshop before the actual class to determine what level the team are at and what level that needs to be taught. And the framework is that we do a 2-day program where on the drawing board, 1 day is supposed to be about program management and building the actual program. And day 2 is supposed to be about managing the detail, which also ties into how you manage the program. So it's kind of exciting because it's one of the ways that we ensure that the course will be very interactive with the people that are on the course. It will be very relevant to what they do, but at the same time, it'll also never be the same because everybody is going to need and want a little bit of different things, right? And we created a palette, is that the right word? Of probably, 50 topics or something like that, if not more.
Yeah.
That,
Not only the topics, but then it's really more like consulting. We call it a training course. We call it a detail management training course, but it's really more consulting. Don't you agree? I mean, the timeline that you created with it, where it's, a month out, we talk to them, we see what they do, how they do it, their team size, their maturity in the team as a team, and things like that. And then before the course, we go over the topics, the palette you're talking about. We narrow those down. Then we give the topic, or actually give the actual, course. And then even the follow-up, talk about the follow-up too,
True, very true. I mean, and that's another thing. Once the course is over, it's not really over because the course comes with a follow-up. So meaning that we come out and teach the course, and hopefully that goes well. And then every quarter, there's kind of a follow-up seminar afterwards, where we can talk about the goals that were set for the team, the training objects. Are they met, not met? Did it work? What do we do better next time? What can the team do better? Stuff like that. So I say it's pretty unique, and I'm super excited about it. And what's really cool is also that besides me and Joe, we have a couple of other guest instructors that we don't really want to kind of like talk about yet, but we have a couple of other guest instructors that can be part of teaching this as well. So we make sure that the actual teams that we train get the best possible experience from some instructors who has actually worked and trained people in the exact same kind of environment as the team that we work with. So it's exciting. It's really exciting. And what about the timeline, Joe? We're already selling and doing these training classes. So if anybody's interested in this, hit us up. Is it on the website yet, or is it coming up today, or what's the deal?
Yeah, we just got it up yesterday. So we'll post in the chat on these posts here on this system. We'll post on Facebook and LinkedIn and everything. We'll post the link to the website so you guys can read about it and check it out. We got it looking good on the website. Just went live yesterday, and check it out, guys. It's an awesome thing if you're at that level. And even if you're running your own programs, your own company, I think that this would be very helpful for you. So when we have an open enrollment one, we're doing them just privately for now, but when we do an open enrollment course scheduling, check it out. See if you're interested.
Yeah, I think so. I think it will be really interesting. And do we have any approximate dates for the open enrollment course?
Oh, I think sometime in September, October would be a good one. If we do one, maybe Northern California, something like that. Maybe even the New York area, something like that. We'll figure it out. But I think we'll get a couple over the next couple of months.
Yep, for sure. Well, that's cool. What else do we have going on of exciting things? I'll be out next week on the 8th, I guess it is, for the EP Mixer in DC. Yeah. Are you coming down for that, or are you?
Yeah, I'm trying to make it that night. I'll try to see if I can drive up and get there. I've got a busy couple of months here coming up. So June, July are real busy with the not only work but then summer and the kids and everything else. So it's tough.
Oh yeah, and you got to get that in. I mean that's important stuff. But for the people out here who's seeing and hearing this, if you haven't signed up yet, go to EP Mixer and let us know that you're coming. And if not, go to our website, find the details, and please, if you are in the DC area, come and say hi and check it out. I mean, it's a networking event for EP agents, and normally it's a ton of fun. I know that we already have a about 90 people signed up. So with a little bit of luck, we'll be over 100, which is always cool and really fun. So I hope to see you all there. What else do we have going on, Joe? We had a blog we put out talking about preparation and prepping in EP. And,
yeah, that was really good stuff. I think that blog, if you guys check that out, we'll post a link to that too. That's something that, it tends to sneak up on us as EP. It's not something that's really on our minds. And then when something happens, we have a client's home that experiences a natural disaster, an extended power outage from a hurricane, anything like that. And now all of a sudden, now that's at the forefront, So that article that we put together, and Christian put a lot into it in terms of the planning processes and prepping to prep, right? Prepping for EP, as we called it. I think it's really good. So check that out for sure. Yeah.
No, and it's one of the things that I've learned over the years. And it's like, when you talk about being prepared, we all kind of like instantly think about preppers and all that we've seen on Discovery and tinfoil hat and weird conspiracies and whatever. But I think prepping is way more than that. And one of the things that I don't think a lot of people realize, but when you talk about being prepared in EP, it's really a 3-stage thing, right? Because of course you have to be prepared to take care of the client pretty much in any emergency. But there should be a plan and there should be a budget for that. So that is, when you think about it, relatively simple. Then there is the guys that you work with, either on the detail, that either work for a security company or work for the client or whatever they do. We need to be prepared for them as well. So if they come to work, we can take care of them. If they can't come to work, maybe we can find a way of getting them transported to work. And if they don't want to come to work because something bad has happened in society, what do we do instead, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the last thing, which I always think is the most important thing. That is that most agents needs to be prepared as well. And preparedness for an agent is many things, right? Because you need to be prepared when you go to work so you can take care of your client. But you also need to be prepared so you can be away from your family. Even if you have to go traveling, if you have to react to something or whatever, you're not going to do a good job if you don't know your family is safe, right? And if you really think about that, a lot of agents that are trying to break into the business or make a name for themselves or whatever, they really need to be prepared to leave with a moment's notice to go on unannounced travel or whatever. I can't count the numbers of times when I, in my old company, AS Solution, had to call some of our agents and go, hey, man, what are you doing? And they would go something like, I don't know, man, I'm with the wife in Costco. And I'm like, all right, can you go and get your bag and go straight to the airport? I got a detail that you need to travel out for there and there and there. And the ones that always said yes and had the bags packed and was ready to go was also the agents that were ready to react to a lot of other things with a moment's notice, right? And it became a lifestyle for these people. And a lot of them was actually the ones that later on made a name for themselves and became really good and created a career within EP. So the whole mindset of being prepared, I think, is probably one of the most important tools in preparations. We're about to spin up a webinar about this. Right now, we have it scheduled for the end of June, but we're going to try and see if we can find some time to move it up. But we're going to post about it on all our social media channels and put it in our newsletter. If you have ideas and want to hear more about preparation in the EP space, so that'll be good
stuff. Yeah, that webinar will be good, and looking to give away some good stuff there, some good information, and maybe even a go bag template or something like that. We'll put some stuff together for you guys. So
good. And then we're probably gonna do a raffle as well to give away a few books of our new book when we do the next webinar. But more about that when we get to it. Anything else exciting happening, Joe? That we
but the reference in that book, guys, check that out. I mean, honestly, that book is definitely worth the read. Definitely something that you're going to read and refer to. I mean, I've been doing this for a while, and I took a ton of notes out of this thing. So The Protective Circle on Amazon. Yep. There's a lot of good little phrases and all kinds of things to learn, spelled out in a very easy to read way. So definitely check that out, guys, if you haven't. One of the best EP books out there, I think.
Thanks, Joe. I mean, probably you're a little biased, but I mean, I've gotten great feedback from a lot of people, and it's whenever you write a book, it's always a little scary when you get to the end of it, because you really put yourself out there, and you put your thoughts and ideas and theory and whatever to the test. And sometimes people challenge you on it and whatever, but when you've done it a few times, you actually realize that when people do that, it's the best thing in the world, right? Because even if you're not right, we get to have a talk about other stuff in the business that is not about competition, it's not about money, it's not about bits and winning or whatever. It's more about protective mythology and how to build a better mousetrap. And I think that's one of the things that is important that we remember sometimes. So
yeah, definitely.
Good stuff. All right. Yeah. Well, hey man, we're heading into the weekend pretty fast. It's already Friday tomorrow, I think. And so I just wanted to catch you really quick and get this live chat out where we talked a little bit about our courses. Follow our YouTube channel, follow our, what we call them, what would you do videos.
Yeah.
Maybe we should touch on those. Yeah. We have, how many do we have out now? 20 or something?
I don't even know. Yeah. We got at least 15 or 16 out. And really good training, guys. Check it out on the YouTube channel. You can loop them so you can play a playlist and check it out. Really cool questions, real challenging questions that Christian and I are asking each other. And, it's just a discussion, see if you learn something, and let us know what you think too.
And even if you don't agree, let us know. And if you watch these what would you do videos and you have some questions that you want Joe and I to talk about, shoot us a DM or a PM or whatever they're called, or post them in the comments section or whatever. And if you go to the YouTube channel, do us a favor of like and subscribe, so we can get the algorithm up on YouTube. So we get a little bit of traction with that. But look at it as a free training tape, right? Because a lot of times when you go to training, people can teach you how to walk next to the client. They can teach you how to do a counteraction drill. That we can teach you kind of all the skills. But one of the things that are very hard to talk about in training classes is kind of the controversial questions of what would you do? Right, and that's what Joe and I are trying to do with these little videos. So if you haven't already, check them out. I think some of them are pretty funny, and
they're cool. It's really cool. I like them a lot. So yeah, guys, check them out. We'll post a link to that as well. So.
All right, perfect. Well, hey man, I want to let you get back to your busy schedule.
Yeah,
and I'll talk to you later. And
all right, guys.
Have a good weekend. All right,
you too.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.